What's up everybody out there, this is Aaron here with another deck profile. Here with Spellbooks. Now this deck has been done before, I'm sure others still play it. There's only one difference. They play competitive, me I don't. I play for fun. Now Spellbooks have two big monsters. Rather, the World of Prophecy or the High Priestess. There are different methods of playing this deck of the big monsters. They rather go possibly 2 High Priestess and 1 World. Maybe just a 3 High Priestess. Now people say this is a lot, but I don't really think so. Because again, I don't believe what people say. I just make my own decks. But I use the World of Prophecy and 3 High Priestess. Now I will show you in a bit of how to run these cards. So let's just start off with the regular deck. 3 Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. Most likely the staple of a Spellbook deck. When this card is normal, summoned or flipped, add 1 Spellbook card from your deck to your hand. So most likely your searcher of the deck to search for any Spellbook card. Spellbook magic. Now, okay, here's another method. There's the Justice of Prophecy method and the Temperance Magician and the Temperance of Prophecy. These are 2 different other methods that people do. And these are of course, the methods of it. If you play Justice of Prophecy, when you summon this out at the end phase, you're going to remove it from play. Search for any Spellbook spell card you want. And 1 level 5 or lower light monster from your deck to your hands. So you're going to have to pause for 1 turn. Now, okay, that's the Justice Prophecy. The Temperance of Prophecy. Once summoned out, during that turn, when this is summoned out, anytime a Spellbook spell card would be played. Anytime a Spellbook of a spell card is played, you can tribute this to summon out a level 5 light or higher monster spellcaster from your deck to the field. So you can go Priestess or World. Now that's Temperance. It's an automatic, you could just summon out 1. Now for me, I go the Temperance way. So right here, 3 Temperance of Prophecy. And then just 1 Justice of Prophecy. So yeah, the Temperance, but running 1 Justice is not that bad also. So, 3 Temperance, 1 Justice. And the 1-ofs, 1 Strength of Prophecy. Once per turn, you can shuffle 1 Spellbook spell card from your graveyard into the deck to target 1 spellcaster type monster on the field. Increase it by level 1 and attack is 500 more. So not that bad. 1 Breaker. When this card is normal summoned, put 1 spell counter on it, maximum by 1, but most likely it is just 1. This card gains 300 attack for each spell counter on it. You can remove 1 spell counter from this card to destroy 1 magic or trap on the field. Now it starts off at 19 attack until you do the effect of popping a magic or trap, then it comes back to 16. 1 Gaiku. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target up to 2 monsters in their graveyard. Banish those targets. Your opponent cannot banish cards from either player's graveyard. Now I'm sure you possibly know these, but if not, I'm just describing you what they are. And last but not least, 1 Magical Exemplar. Each time a spell card is activated, place 2 counters on this card. So yeah, you start off with 2. Now, once per turn, you can remove any number of spell counters from this card to special summon a spellcaster type monster from your hand or graveyard whose level is equal to the number of spell counters you removed. So most likely any time for how many times a spell card was played, it can go up to 6, 8 times a magic card has been played. And just, yeah, Priestess is a level 7, so remove 7 counters. Stuck at 1. Summon out High Priestess. You must have it in your hand or it's in your graveyard. You can't bring it out from your deck. Or you can do it right here. Prophecy. Now, of course, Prophecy is a 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 counters. So, Magical Exemplar. 1 of. Alright, that's it for monsters. We'll go with magics. Three, Spellbook of Secrets. Add 1 spellbook card from your deck to your hand. Except Spellbook of Secrets, you can only activate once. You can only activate 1 Spellbook of Secrets per turn. So yeah, if you had like 2 of these in your hand, you can only play 1. Two, Spellbook of Master. If you control a spellcaster type monster, you can reveal 1 other spellbook card in your hand, then target 1 spellbook normal spell card in your graveyard, except the master. This card becomes the effect of that target's effect, and you can only play 1 per turn. So basically, of course, yeah, secrets only 1, but if you play master, you can copy the secrets and it becomes a secrets. Two, Spellbook Towers. Grand Tower. Once per turn during your standby phase, if you have a spellcaster type monster on your side of the field or in your graveyard, you can return 1 spellbook spell card from your graveyard to the bottom of your deck, except the tower, then draw 1 card. If this card is destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 spellcaster type monster from your hand or deck whose level is then or equal to the number of spellbook spell cards in your graveyard. So the field spell for spellbooks. 2, Spellbook of Wisdom. Target 1 face-up spellcaster type monster on the field and activate 1 of these effects. It is unaffected by spell cards of the turn. It is unaffected by trap cards of the turn. Choose. Now, Spellbook of Wisdom could be done by any spellcaster because it's a spellcaster type monster, so it could work for possibly anything. Now, the other cool thing about it, it's a quick play. Spellbook of Fate. Now, here's the thing about this card, of course. Quick play. Now, here's what's so cool about it. If you control a spellcaster type monster, you can banish up to 3 spellbook spell cards from your graveyard to apply this effect. Depending on the number of spell cards banished from this card's activation, you can only activate 1 of these effects of Spellbook of Fate. If you remove 1 spellbook magic card, you can set 1 spell trap card on the field, return it to its hand. Return it to the hand. So basically, most likely, you want to return your opponent's magic or traps back to their hand. If you remove 2, change 1 monster on the field to face down defense position or face up attack position. Now the third one's the best one. If you remove 3, banish 1 card your opponent controls. Now, of course, there are monsters that say you cannot target them. Spellbook of Fate does not target, and it's a quick play also, so it could be even done on your opponent's turn. So Spellbook of Fate does not target. Spellbook of Eternity. Target one of your banished spell cards, spellbook spell cards, except Eternity. Add that target to your hand. This can only play once per turn. So most likely, even if you were banishing them, you can get them back with Eternity. 1 Spellbook of Life. Banish one spellcaster type monster from your graveyard and reveal one other spellbook spell card in your hand to target one spellcaster type monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in attack position and equip it with this card. The equipped monster's level is increased by the level of the monster that was banished for this card's activation. And of course, only once per turn. So it's another way of, if this is in your graveyard, the World, the Priestess, or Temperance, it's just another way to bring them back if they're in your graveyard. One Spellbook of Power. Target one face-up spellcaster type monster you control until the end phase. It gains 1,000 attack. Also, until the end phase, each time it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add one Spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand. It can only be done once per turn. Now here's the thing also. What you can do is, of course, master. You want to master and copy Spellbook of Power. You add one of your spellcasters to not 1,000 but to 2,000 attack. So if you had Spellbook of Power, you activated one on your spellcasters, you can copy it with Spellbook of Master to make it gain another 1,000 attack. And yes, Eternity, if you need to. If you need to, go ahead, do it. And last but not least, the last of the magic cards. 1 Raigeki, 1 Dark Hole, and 1 Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial, a lot of people say it sucks and it's not, and it should not be played in the deck. But I'll explain why you should put it in the deck. And last but not least, the trap cards. 2 Phoenix Wing Blast, 2 Camera Cuts, 2 Cursed Seal of Forbidden Spell. Now, okay, these are, of course, require a cost, which is, discard 1 card to your. Discard 1 card to target 1 card your opponent controls, return it. Return that card to the top of the deck. So that's Phoenix Wing Blast. Karma Cut. Discard 1 card. Remove from play 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, then remove it from play. Any cards in your opponent's graveyard with the same name of that monster also gets removed. Now right here, Cursed Seal of the Forbidden Spell. Very, very good, because discard 1 spell card from your hand to negate the activation of an effect of a spell card and destroy it. Your opponent cannot activate spell cards of the same name, including the spell card that is destroyed for the rest of the duel. So most likely, you're going to screw up your opponent with magic cards. Because it's so fun to do. Let's see, how many people run Twin Twisters? 3? Okay, if you hit 1, they cannot do Twin Twister for the rest of the duel. And if they have him in the hand, it's a dead. Valkyrie, I believe that's the new deck. They require unequipped magic cards. You hit 1, they are dead for the rest of that duel. They cannot use them for the rest of the duel. I don't know. Think of anything else. Let me see. There's yeah, Twin Twister. Oh, Diagram, which people love using with Draco or the Dinosaur deck, Dino deck. You hit a Diagram, they can't use Diagram for the rest of the duel. So most likely you're gonna screw up your opponent. And of course, the one Quaking Mirror Force, Stormy Mirror Force, and the Mirror Force. Now, the reason why I use these is because they're good enough and they're good to use. And it's to help you get rid of World of Prophecy when it's in your hand. Because you never want this in your hand, to tell you the truth. Because to play it and special summon it, its effect is you can target 2 spell books, spell cards in your graveyard, add those targets to your hand. You cannot special summon other monsters during you activate this effect. When you add cards to your hand by this effect, you can reveal 4 spellbook spell cards with different names in your hands. Destroy all other cards on the field. So basically you need 4 different names if you have the will of doing the effect, which is if you have 4, you're special summoned, reveal your 4, knock out the whole entire field, destroy it. So that's why it's a good way to Temperance, ditch out because of a spellbook that was played, World of Prophecy, get any 2 that you need, or if you just had 4 already in your hand of different names, nuke the entire field, as in it's let's call it Judgment Day, end the whole entire game. Not the end of the entire game, I would say the end of the field, the rest of the field except itself. So it's like Judgment Dragon, blow up the entire field, World of Prophecy, blow up the entire field. That is true.
Sorry.
Nah, just for you to know, World of Prophecy can fuck up your opponent. So it must be special summon. You do not want this in your hand. You have it in your hand, you're either clogged up or you just lost. Hopefully you don't though. Now to play High Priestess of Prophecy, you must have 3 spellbooks, spell cards to special summon this. So if you have 3, then special summon it. If you have 2 and you had 3, special summon both of them. Sometimes you might be lucky and you got all 3, special summon all 3. Another thing you can do, right here, Temperance. If you want to, banish it, summon out High Priestess. Now, here's the thing about Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial. If you have Spellbook of Life in your hands, you don't have any other spot to use Priestess or World, but then Foolish Burial to the graveyard. So then you have your shot right here. Spellbook of Life. You have your Wisdom. Let's say that's in your hands. You used your Spellbook of Prophecy already, Magician. You don't need it anymore. Banish it. Special summon this. Instantly, so that's just another way. So that's why I use Foolish Burial. Or you want to Foolish Burial the world. Spellbook of Life. Whichever you have. It's in your graveyard. Banish. Special summon. Or if you have this in your hand, summon Spellbook of Life that a spellbook was played, tribute it, special summon from the deck to the field. So that's why Foolish Burial. Now, okay, remember these right here. If you have Prophecy in your hands, best thing to do, get rid of it. So if you have Karma Cut, throw away the world. And you still get the effect of Karma Cut. Remove from play anything you don't want to deal with that they have on the field. Remove it. Of course, let's say you're going to want to Dark Hole. And you're going to Dark Hole and get High Priestess out. Here's a trick. Wisdom. Face down. Dark Hole the whole entire field. No. Spellbook of Wisdom. Unaffected by spell cards. So, yeah, you Dark Hold, but your High Priestess is on the field still because Spellbook of Wisdom. They're going to want to play trap cards, and you have rather the Priestess out, your Gaiku out, whatever. Even if you had your world out. You attack. Think of whatever that they're going to play on you. Rather Mirror Force, whatever. Fine, just save yourself. Fun deck to do. I call it for fun because I still run fun decks. So, this is my Spellbook deck. Using World of Prophecy and High Priestess. Hope you all enjoyed this. Like, comment, subscribe. I will show you more deck profiles later. See you later.